is from a book I've read to you from before. The Matrix and philosophy. I was doing some reading and some interesting points cropped up that I felt needed more discussion. These type of videos, these philosophical videos get requested quite a bit, and it always makes me happy when they do, because it means that people are interested. So, without further ado, let's begin. I don't know why that makes me laugh, it just does. I'm very hot because I was very cold and then I turned the heating on and now I'm very hot. So if I look warm, that's because I am. I just want to read to you exhibits of the book that stood out to me. They might not stand out to you, but hopefully what I talk to you about is thought-provoking. This is written by David Nixon, and here he writes, "It is not possibility that matters, it's probability." And that's basically what I'm going to talk to you about today. Even if we are in a matrix, all that matters is that even if this reality weren't real, weren't as real as we'd like to think it is for the moment, for me sitting here right now and for you watching, it is very real. So that means that all we can do is live in the present moment and seek the truth as much as we can. In this chapter, he talks about how we are to distinguish fact from fiction, probability from possibility. He talks about how the matrix could be real and how it doesn't logically add up to be real. But I sit back and ask myself, does it matter? Does it matter that I can't prove many things about anything? That is something that for me is not very difficult to accept. For people who are more, I guess, fact seekers, it's very difficult to accept something that is not that cannot be proven with time and consistency. Anyway, let's move ahead. And it says here, Neo has been living in the ordinary world, and he was recently tricked into taking a red pill, which was actually a powerful hallucinogenic drug. That's the counter argument for the film itself being fake and basically, we base fact and believing on being able to touch concrete things. That's the only thing that determines hallucination from reality. Whatever it may be. It says here, nonetheless, a hallucination or mirage, I always liked that word, mirage, is discovered to be such because one's hand passes right through without the sense of touch encountering brute materiality. It says here, the nature of metaphysics. I struggle with this one. It says, metaphysics is a view of the world that seeks to be accurate, consistent, comprehensive, and supported by sound evidence. Metaphysics, on the other hand, is the learned discipline one practices when one seeks to develop a metaphysics, consisting therefore in a set of procedures. In the beginning here, he talks about all the debates behind real and unreal, because at the end of the day the Matrix is pulling up on the fact of whether we should question that our current reality is in fact the ultimate reality, or whether we are experiencing some type of holographic universe. Very interesting concept, but now that I've already questioned this, all it makes me feel is that it doesn't matter so much so long as I do not stick too strongly to any one particular view or thought, just as science is always ever changing. You and me are always ever changing, so it becomes simpler to not hold too strongly onto any one particular idea in life. Just flicking through the pages. Now we get to, in my opinion, the more interesting side of things, because historical philosophers are involved in his writing. It says, the great German philosopher Immanuel Kant thought so, and he thought, is the ability to choose for yourself really such a valuable thing? Which is the idea of free will. experiences you've had, but the kind of choices you've made. It's very good. You've always tried to do the right thing. Then you are a good person, even if things do not turn out the way you planned. And it says, this is a philosopher called Robert Nozick. And it says, there's a candle right beneath me, so I have to be careful not to burn in the paper. Suppose there were an experience machine that would give you any experience you desired. Super duper neurophysiologists could stimulate your brain so that you would think and feel you were writing a great novel or making a friend or reading an interesting book. All the time you would be floating in a tank with electrodes attached to your brain. Should you plug into this machine for life, pre-programming your life's experiences? If you are worried about missing out on desirable experiences, we can suppose that business enterprises have researched thoroughly the lives of many others. You can pick and choose from their large library of smorgasbord of such experiences, selecting your life's experiences for, say, the next 2 years. Of course, while in the tank you won't know that you're there. You'll think it's all actually happening. Others can also plug in to have the same experiences they want, so there's no need to stay unplugged to serve them. And the question is, would you plug in? What else can matter to us other than how our lives feel from the inside? I guess that kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Do I mind that I don't know if I believe in the Matrix or not? I guess I like to think about having a concrete answer to that. But then again, it's the whole concept of taking the red or blue pill. I, without a doubt, take the red pill every time I think in my own mind. But that's only because I think I can still live a happy life, even though I should find out the truth, which could be painful. I'm not sure what it is you sacrifice, really, in seeking the truth. Or maybe I do know and I just can't think of it right now. The shadow is not so good. It says, blooming candles everywhere, driving me insane. Oh no, I've just put one out, never mind. And it says, the question raised by the oracle, however, is whether people in the real world make real choices. Are there genuine alternatives to open them? Are there genuine alternatives open to them? Or are all of their choices preordained? And that I don't think I'm able to answer. I'm just getting some matches because that one's gone out. teachings resonate with me more than other religions. Here we go. Reflecting. Just like the mirror, a mirror mind simply reflects what comes before it. It does not discriminate, nor does it cling to its images. The Greek word for truth is aletheia. Oh, there's a reason that I marked that, but it wasn't because I wanted to tell you about it, it's because I liked that name. But yeah, there you go. The Greek word for truth is aletheia. I just think that's a really nice name for a person, that is. Anyway, so basically these Buddhist teachings of a mirror mind urge us to have a clear mind, just like a mirror that reflects only the present moment that is before it. Says there is a well-known Zen Buddhist parable, or mondo, about 3 monks. Observing a flag waving in the wind. One monk points out how the flag moves. The second monk responds that it is not really the flag but the wind that moves. I once had that realisation when I was watching a film called Jupiter Ascending, when Jupiter, the main character, who is, I've got a name, never mind, she was able to control the bees with her arms, with her body. I had this thought, but maybe it's the bees that control her. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it correlated to that somehow in my mind. Third monk rebukes both of them. He claims that neither the flag nor the wind moves. It is your mind that moves. The Buddhist message is clear. The spoon does not move, since there is no spoon. There is only mind. The reason it talks about a spoon there is because in the film The Matrix, in one scene, Neo goes to see the Oracle, and there is a young boy there who looks like a Buddhist monk. He's dressed in the same robes as a monk, and he also has a bald head. I don't know why they have a bald head, but they usually do. And their little boy is able to bend the spoon with telekinesis, with his mind. And he shares some insight to Neo that the spoon doesn't exist, therefore he's able to control it with his mind. Only his mind exists. Says here, for Buddhists there is no self, no independent and separate entity. This idea of no self is called anatman, literally meaning no self. Therefore, we can use the mirror in the wrong way, and that is the materialistic mirror. That is self. A self that is to us all consuming, that the absence of a mirror can be unnerving, even anguishing. In our inauthentic world, we need mirrors to reaffirm the illusion of self and separateness, which of course is all about the ego that is so widely encouraged in this modern world. It is encouraged all around us to boost our ego in many different forms, but this is only straying away further from the truth, because we are not separate human beings, we are all together. I guess we like to look upon other people and notice our differences because it makes us feel better about ourselves. But the real triumph and the real test is to look at other people, even those that we don't like, and see how we are similar. And if you are so different in a good way, you should recognize and empathize with that person, showing only compassion and not hatred, because then you are merely reflecting that negative essence of yourself through another. Hope you're not bored yet. Stop trying to hit me and hit me, is what Morpheus says to Neo in the film, in their battle. And it says, the mind stops when it places itself at a distance from the body. As long as the mind stops, it is not one with the body. In martial arts, freeing the mind means bridging the distance between oneself and one's opponent. For there is no opponent. There is no, just as there is no spoon. I think this could relate to both your and my own self-confidence. No matter what someone possesses in the outer world, including your body, how you look, how strong you are, how tall you are, how short you are, any of that. The only thing that will see you through to your own success and your own path of truth and healing is your mind. If you can believe in yourself, that is, if you can trust in yourself that you make the right judgments for a good reason, if you can always trust in that, then you always have the power to live a good life, to become great in life, to become all that you ever hoped and more in life. It says freeing the mind comes about when we break through the barrier of rationalization and reflection, when we recognize the limits of reason and realize that all reason and logic inevitably hits a brick wall. This is the true sound of inevitability. truths that we in fact do have. We do know it's been passed down to us. So there is something to put your faith in this ever-changing world. And it is the Four Noble Truths in Buddhism. The first truth consists of dukkha, that all life is filled with suffering, which is universal truth. The second truth is that the definitive source of suffering comes from tanha, which means craving and clinging. There is suffering in this world, but the majority of it comes from our own minds. Sometimes you don't realise that. Sometimes it's difficult to accept that. But it is true nonetheless. That means, though, you can control it. That's why it no longer holds power over you. It is basically the mind that craves. This craving is expressed through various forms of attachment, especially the attachment to permanence and self. The third truth tells us that we can free ourselves from suffering. This message of hope makes logical sense, since the cause of our suffering comes from within us, from mind. Then the source of redemption comes from within us as well. It is precisely this third truth that Morpheus suggests. That's in the film The Matrix. It tells Neo that it is all up to him to be his own saviour, as it is always up to yourself. Other people play a part in your life to help you along the way, but you are ultimately always the one to save yourself, to heal yourself. And the fourth truth lies in following the difficult and demanding path that will free us from suffering, known as the Eightfold Path. Ultimately, the secret to following the Eightfold Path lies in freeing the mind. Freeing the mind of fear and judgment, that is. It says here, is The Matrix a Buddhist film? And he goes on to talk about how it both is and isn't. But to call it a Buddhist film would narrow it too much, because if you don't stick to all of the rules and principles in a religion, you're no longer following that religion. The Matrix does not stick to all of the key concepts of Buddhism. It goes on to talk about how violence is abhorred from Buddhism. It's not something that's encouraged, but in the movie it's very much encouraged. It is seen as a way to solve problems. That's more for the American Hollywood entertainment. It also says that Morpheus in the film singles out the system as an enemy. majority also includes as enemies those who are part of the system itself, either out of ignorance or choice. Here this is talking about people in this world, whether you're watching this movie, this is not a movie, whether you're watching this video right now, or the people that aren't watching this video right now, all those people within that, there are a certain amount of people that will never know truth in life. And that's just the way it is, I guess, because I don't know, I don't want to say too much on that because it's a vulnerable topic for me. To you who's watching this video now, it is quite rare for people who read about this sort of thing, this philosophy that I'm talking to you about, and who not only understand it, but who resonate with it on a deep level. The reason that you might be watching it now and understanding all of it is because you're already at a level that lets you understand all of it at its deeper core. And in the film, yes, the people who are ignorant to the truth of the Matrix are also seen as enemies because they can neither help us or, in fact, if anything, they can do us damage because they are the negative force in the film. But it says here that this dualism clearly goes against the supreme Buddhist virtues of compassion and loving kindness. These virtues apply to all sentient beings and require that we treat friends and enemies alike without discrimination. Surely one of the most difficult challenges in Buddhist morality. It is indeed. As I said before, I can't remember what I was talking about, but I spoke about how you look at other people that are different from you and still find those similarities so that you can feel compassion and not hate. It's a difficult thing to do, especially with people that you have a strong hate towards. You have a dislike towards. The real test, though, even if you have verification and a right to hate someone, maybe they're just horrible people or they've done something really bad, that hate then becomes a part of you. As much as you like to think you're putting it onto someone else, it still lays within you. So if you really like to free your mind, then you ought to think about why you're hating and sending negative thoughts to that person, and do you need to anymore? Do you need to judge the situation so strongly? The answer is no, you don't. But that's very difficult to accept in some cases. But it is a lesson that both you and I have to learn. Oh, we're done for now. That was a few chapters there of true matter of things to you, and hoping that you receive it in the best way possible. Just before I go, I'll read you some mindfulness tips, because I do believe Buddhism is all about mindfulness. It says, being in the now, living moment by moment and seeing everything afresh without judgment and worry lets us experience life rather than simply get through it. Accept and respond. Simple mindfulness practices engage the mind and body, helping you let go and slowly bringing you back to a sense of equanimity and peace. I'll read one more for you. Third bit of mindfulness for you tonight is making your mind up. When we procrastinate and distract ourselves with busyness, we avoid engaging with the real thing, our lives. Mindfulness helps us become really present, so we respond wisely to a challenge and experience each moment as it unfolds. And that's what it's all about. It's experiencing life to its greatest and fullest potential. That's why I say to you, I don't think it matters so much that we're in a matrix if we were. What matters